Whilst the world's been playing Pokemon Go, we've been playing indie games. So here's 13 of the best releases over the last month. But first, we've got one quick headline.
There's been a lot of news about Life is Strange lately. First off, developer Don't Nod have made the first episode free to play. Just as interesting is the game is going to be made into a live action TV series by Legendary Entertainment.
Pool Diver puts an unmistakable hipster moustache twist on Olympic diving in this quick time event mobile game. Free to play, it's good for a little break. Hunter's Legacy is a platformer with some nice animations and stealth mechanics, but is ultimately brought down by some clunky jumping, monotonous terrain and amateur sound design. Adventureland is a cute and super well animated platformer, in which you pop off your hat to solve all sorts of puzzles. Swordy is a crazy local party brawler, in which you swing a giant sword around in a circle. We've played it at PAX the last 2 years and can't recommend it enough. Releasing on Steam in July, RimWorld has absolutely blown up in popularity. A strategic base builder in the mold of Dwarf Fortress, it's not hard to see why. The much anticipated We Happy Few hit early access release this month on PC and Xbox One. It still looks promising, but needs more time to grow. Lumbermancer is a magnificent looking action game in which you summon logs to fight the monsters of the woods. It's also full of personality and laughs.
Hey mate, are you here to learn about our badass conquests? Good! People are telling legends about all the intense shite we cause. Let's start with this one.
At first glance, we didn't expect much from Crush Your Enemies, but it took just 15 minutes for us to be pleasantly surprised. The game is cross-platform, available on both PC and mobile. It definitely looks like a mobile game, but the experience holds up on PC too. That's because of its casual and irreverent nature. We're not the biggest fans of the real-time strategy genre, but the simplicity of Crush Your Enemies makes it welcoming to strangers of the genre. The aim of the game is quite simply to crush your enemies, and even as more complexities are introduced, the goal never wavers. From the get-go, you know how to play. Equally as effectual is the game's humour. Possessing a playful kind of self-mocking like that in Broforce, there's many chuckles to be had. The writing is particularly strong, creating fun characters and memorable one-liners with few words. Crush Your Enemies is an RTS that's easy to love for its pick-up-and-play nature and its lightheartedness.
You probably think of your personal computer as a tool for work, and maybe a bit of fun. But a new generation of cyber criminals is dialing into phone systems all around the world.
Quadrilateral Cowboy is the delightfully bizarre mix of retro cyberpunk, thrilling espionage, computer hacking and puzzles that's kind of an unofficial sequel to Jazzpunk. Brendan Chun, also known as Blendo Games, has already made a name for himself with previous games like 30 Flights of Loving and Atom Zombie Smasher. Quadrilateral Cowboy has the art style of the former, but more importantly, the boldness and innovation of all of Chun's prior titles. The core of the game are these crazy Tom Cruise level heists, in which you break in, set up your computer, and hack the security system from the inside. The hacking is nothing to be afraid of. It's more about logically solving puzzles than understanding long strings of characters. It's also really fun. That is in part due to all the cool gadgets it allows you to operate, like a small remote-controlled robot and a smart turret. The world itself is a wacky blend of 20th century eras, in which vinyls mix with cassettes and blackboards cross over with monitors. Currently, the only major issue to be aware of is that there's been widespread complaints of the game crashing. Still, Quadrilateral Cowboy is a different experience, and beyond that, a great puzzle game.
Welcome to your Topia. Humanity now lives in perfect robotic bodies. They are immortal, free from worry, free from disease, but they are
Made by Double Fine and published by Adult Swim, Headlander is anything but normal. In its world that looks like a vision of the future from the 1970s, humans are enslaved to psychotic robots. Humanity's greatest hope of re-securing freedom is a flying helmet containing the head of a conscious human. The good news is that in this retro dystopia, a flying helmet head has a competitive advantage. With robots abound, the helmet can detach from one robot, jettison around, and latch onto another. It's a pretty neat gameplay mechanic too, as it opens up access to all sorts of new abilities. The platforming is an interesting combo of Metroidvania backtracking and more intense moments of fire. Overall, it works pretty well. Headlander offers a fun and sometimes disturbing space to explore, as well as some solid side-scrolling action.
11 missed calls, 8 messages. That's how you're greeted in Replica. You figure out the password and manage to get into this stranger's phone. More messages come in, asking where the stranger is. Maybe they've gone missing. Then you get a call. It's from a blocked number, but desperate for info, you pick it up. The other end claims to be national security. They say the phone belongs to a 17-year-old terror suspect. It's also revealed that you've been taken from your parents and put in a cell. If you help national security identify the suspect, they'll let you go. You're not sure who the good guy is. Heck, you don't know what you've done to wind up in this position. It's incredibly shady and voyeuristic. A mystery full of moral grey areas. Replica forces you into some tough choices, and usually with little information. It makes for a compelling and challenging story, with different endings dependent on your decisions. The narrative certainly drives the game, with the gameplay working to further engage you within it. Navigating the phone to solve puzzles and extract clues ensures that the story is always live, and that it's you pushing it forward. It may be simple design, but it does what the best video games do. It puts you in the story. Replica is a great game, on par with the likes of Papers, Please and Her Story. I'm sure this won't be the last time we discuss it this year.
Now you're mine.
Our number one game for July is Fury, a series of boss battles with neon ninjas that gives you as good an adrenaline rush as genre peer Devil May Cry. The action is so quick. Once a battle starts, there are no pauses. It's literally bullet hell, as families of projectiles bounce around the battlefield. When you get close to your foe, the intensity doesn't let up one bit, transitioning to a dangerously tight sword fight. In terms of difficulty, it's pretty brutal. Before you can succeed, you need to fail and die a lot. Outmatching your opponent requires absolute concentration, memorization of numerous patterns, making your moves at the right times, and absolutely on-point reflexes. It's such an intense game, and it'll make your adrenaline levels spill over. The amazing electro soundtrack and the flashing symphony of neon lights complement the experience so well and manage to add even more energy. Fury is one of the toughest and intense games you can find, and if you're up for the challenge, one of the most enjoyable too. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time here on Indie Forma.